And as with nearly every aspect of life, how you look at something often determines the way that you will manage it. And that leads to the third and final lesson. Shift the way you view the rocks in your life. Oh my gosh, when Quinn was little, we spent an incredible amount of time walking. Going for walks with Quinn was always an exercise primarily for my patience. I can see his little body crouched low, watching ants march to and from their circular dirt doors outside our apartment building. Quinn wanted to stop and look at every blade of grass, every stick, every rock. But actually, he wanted to do more than that. He wanted to bring them home. Quinn saw every rock as an individual object to examine and enjoy. He dutifully filled this little bucket he carried with him on all the walks we went on with rocks, so that he could bring home more rocks than his pockets could possibly hold. Where I saw piles of dull, lifeless stones, Quinn saw beautiful objects that deserved individual observation, contemplation, and conversation. It got to be that we had so many rocks that I had to develop a system to move some of them back to nature. So I would say to Quinn, we're going to Rock Cemetery, which was the landscaping around a federal building not too far from our apartment. Quinn would go into his room, pick up a rock, determined to put it in the bucket to take it back to Rock Cemetery, only to put it back down on the table or on his shelf. There was something about that one he had to keep. Talk about patience. He would finally have a bucket full. We would make our way to Rock Cemetery. And then, once there, he would take out the rocks one by one. He would talk to them lovingly. He would find a perfect place for their eternal resting place. And in the process, he would pick up another rock and he would say, "Mom, look, it's..." And he would tell me something about this rock that reminded him that this one had once been his. That is a very different way to think about rocks. What if I had thought about all the disappointments, the hard lessons, the insecurities, the professional setbacks, and more, the way that Quinn thought about his beloved rocks? How much more joy could I have found on the journey versus longing for the path I didn't get to take? When I was working on that talk in 2019, I was shocked to discover that all those rocks that I had felt buried by for all those years had actually created a beautiful, challenging, surprising path that I had been walking on while making a life for Quinn and me. Like a geode, the reality of my life didn't always match what was inside, not to others, not even to me. I'd been so busy believing that I only had one way to pursue my spark that I almost missed the beautiful formation of what had been my actual life. So, how are you dealing with the rocks in your life? Are you walking past them, too busy scrolling on your phone to notice them? Do you see them out of the corner of your eye, but hurry past so you don't have to deal with them? Do you create a distraction if you're with other people, so God forbid they don't see the big ugly pile of rocks in your corner? What if each of the stones you are working so hard to bury or ignore was something you picked up, carefully examined, talked to lovingly, and cherished as a beloved object in your life? What if you appreciated them for what they've given you, taught you, allowed you to discover, both about yourself and the world around you? The boulders, rocks, stones, and pebbles of our lives can utterly ruin us. But it's in that process of ruination that they are also what create us. You don't know what you're made of until you suffer, experience tremendous loss or failure, and climb that rock-strewn pile of your past to see a present and future you never could have dreamed of. Looking back at your failures and disappointments matters, because there are two distinct ways to think about them. One, they can be the rocks that tripped you up, appeared out of nowhere, crushed you. How do I know this? because I've spent much of my life believing that the rocks of my life are why I am where I am, why I am who I am, and why I have failed to be as successful as I know I was born to be. Or you could gather them together. They can be the very experiences, opportunities, challenges, and lessons that have made you who you are today and created the solid path that you have walked and will continue to walk.